Welcome to Big Blend Radio, the land of trippiness. I love that. Some funky trippiness. We're your hosts, Nancy and Lisa, the Big Blend mother-daughter travel team and publishers of Big Blend magazines. You just heard Demolition. It's the fourth and title track from Bourgault's new EP, and it is available now as pre-sale on iTunes, but it releases properly on August 31st, 2018. It's the best day to release music, and very excited for it to come out. And we're excited to have Brian back on Big Blend Radio. He was with us about a couple months ago, right, Nancy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, with his album, full-length album, Be Kind, and everybody needs to get that too. And go to borgo-band.com for everything. And he's also featured in the July-August issue of Big Blend Radio and TV magazine, or just go to blendradioandtv.com to listen to our first interview. I think we talked about running naked in fields or something, and now I want to do it again because you listened to that. Is some trippiness. How you doing, Brian?
I'm great. Thank you.
Good to have you back on here. There's something very freeing about your music, and I think that's something difficult to grasp, and it's interesting because with this EP, you're doing it all on your computer, right?
Yeah, I mean, the last one I composed the songs on my computer, but then I brought live bands into a studio to record them. And the problem I ran into trying to repeat that is just the availability of the musicians and the cost of doing it that way. So I decided to teach myself a little more about actually producing the songs on my computer, and instead of using the live instruments, spending a little more time getting the sounds nailed down that I can do with my computer. So then I don't have to schedule it around anybody else or go into a studio and spend a bunch of money. Yeah. So it's fun, and it's challenging. It's like a whole new way of doing things. For me, it's not a new way of doing things for a lot of people, but for me, it's like, I'm kind of old school, so I want the guitar and the acoustic drum set and the, the live instruments. But it's kind of forcing me into a different style, and it's fun. It's cool. And my plan is to release something every quarter. So every 3 months, put something out. Yeah. Already working on the next batch.
I saw
What's that?
I saw a whole movie in that song.
Exactly.
And my mind went to, there's these clips of sound and like an orchestra. And I would assign, like, for me, this is you're sitting at a pond, and each thing, like this plant has this sound, and that frog over there has that big bass sound that you got there, and then there's like this buzzing little fly going round, and the frog's watching the fly, and all these little turtle goes in the water, and plants pop up and bloom, and at the end, guess what happens to the fly?
Good God, man! Like, what are you drinking? I was going to say, what are you smoking? What are you drinking?
You could totally make a video where all these old things keep popping up as the music goes to that clip of sound.
Venus flytrap gets to fly.
And then, that's what I saw.
That's cool.
I'll tell you, that song right there is like the electric piano, the organ, the guitar, and the female vocals. Those are all taken from the song Compliments and Woo from my album.
Wow, that's
those are all. Yeah, so I had a bunch of tracks on my computer from when we did some demos for that song, and so I used all of that to kind of piece together and add to it to make that song. So that's where like the organ and the piano and the guitar came from.
So now go back and put like a flower or an animal to each of those sounds, and then let the people come through. Well, animals are people to me. So you let them all pop up in a pond, and it's kind of like a musical kind of orchestra.
Well, what I want to do for some of these songs is make a video with like an illustration video, an animated video with not real people, but animated figures, animated animals in the song, in the videos. That's kind of what I want to do.
It's perfect.
So if anybody out there does that kind of thing, get in touch.
Go on, Nancy.
I'll do it.
Nancy will do it. She'll do it.
All right.
She does a lot of video stuff, and she likes to do animation, and then she likes to take politicians and put them behind bars. She likes to
that's where a lot of them end up.
Sounds like she's already got the
Rifle
storyboard written for it.
Yeah, no, we'll do something fun with that. And Demolition, why the title, and then why the title, for that being the title track for the EP?
Well, I wanted to kind of communicate that it's kind of tearing down and starting over. It's taking a much more traditional approach that I used on the last album, and kind of demolition, tearing it down and taking pieces of it, putting it back together, and coming up with this new sound for myself, new sound for this music. I'm not abandoning the other thing. I'll still do it when I can get a band together, but I want to write, I want to produce, I want to put music out every day, and I needed to kind of free myself up to do that. So this was a demolition of what was and a rebuilding of what will be.
It's exciting. I think that it's so interesting. We've got our friends Michael and Spider. They were one of the first glam punk rock bands in LA in the late 70s. They had Hey Taxi, Red Wedding, and his guitar was like David Gilmour. He's just insane, and hung out with half of those people out there, but in LA, and they had the whole, just the punk. It wasn't even punk, but it was just this. It was psychedelic punk rock. It's crazy. They just did amazing stuff, and they left LA because it got crazy too, and came out to Tucson, and so then they didn't have the band, and they got into. Because Spider on guitar, he's since passed, and I know he's looking down, and he's pouring us good cocktails up there. Yeah, he was the best cocktail maker. But they got into computer work, and they went from like hardcore punk, psychedelic punk rock and roll to like almost desert music, soundscapes. As we were talking about it, was like what's the name for it, And it was there was this whole other level of creativity hit them. Like they started doing, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, and all of a sudden they could create these whole scenes that it just is like this whole other art form. Is that how you feel? Like now it's like a whole different level of creativity.
The possibilities are endless. I'm just using what's available to me on Logic. I'm not even using any plugins or any other software packages. I'm just using the sounds and instruments that are in Logic, and I haven't even scratched the surface of that. So any sound you can even begin to imagine, I can create. So it's fun in that sense. And then you can go in and just get really obsessive with, moving the notes around, moving the kick drum around, moving the hi-hats, like making the beat. Everything's like perfect. So that's appealing to me. I love to just, obsess over stuff. And I'm going to bring more vocals back into the music. This was the initial departure from it, so I don't really have a whole lot of singing on these songs, but the next batch that I'm working on will be more structured, more like songs with vocals, verse, chorus type of thing. Still with the more house music, dance music production going on with it. It's fun. It's cool. I'm trying to keep the sounds kind of organic. I don't want it to sound too over the top with like.
That's what I thought is so great about this, is that a lot of times when it's computer, there's this tinniness, there's this no groove to it, and with Be Kind, you had a lot of funky grooves in it, and yet there's like an element. It's like psychedelic funk is what I would call your music. That I don't like genres. Aspect. But I think,
a lot of it, I
think,
don't either. A lot of it reminds me, the sounds and the tempo and the melodies reminds me a lot of Depeche Mode, which I love. So it's almost going down that road. Yeah, it's almost going down that road. And I think when I get the vocals back on it, I think it'll sound even more, maybe. But I don't know, the stuff that I'm doing, the vocals coming up is funky and almost like a dub reggae kind of feel to it.
You would never know that it was computer generated. That's what I'm saying, that it has this warmth to it and freedom. So you would never know that it, as a listener, you feel like there's like a live band.
The trick to that is to turn the swing knob all the way up on the drums. Get some swing in there.
So when you're creating this, do you do this in the morning and then all of a sudden it's like you start at like maybe 10 in the morning and all of a sudden it's 2 in the morning and you're like, wow, I got sucked in there for a while?
Yeah, not quite that long. Usually I get up, my dogs wake me up at 7. They want to go outside, and then I go back to bed till about 9. And then I get up, and it is the first thing I do. When I have coffee, I turn my computer on, and it's just the first thing I do for at least an hour. And then I'll take a little break maybe. But I'd say when I'm doing it, it's like a job. I mean, you have to force yourself to do it. So I have to get up every day and sit down in front of the computer and just start working. And sometimes it comes real easy, and sometimes it doesn't, So you just do something else and on those days. But usually it's an 8 to 10 hour day sitting in front of the computer.
And you've set yourself a schedule of, okay, I'm going to do something new every quarter, release something new every quarter, so that it's, I know a lot of musicians are like, they have to have deadlines for their albums, otherwise it never comes out. Then you start, that's when you can overproduce an album too.
Well, sometimes you really to the point of ruining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I could have spent more time on these songs, definitely, but I was like, they sound good. I mean, there's nothing that jumps out at me like, wow, you need to change this. So I just decided they were ready to release, and I'm going to do now I'm going to do some more, and I'm going to release those in December. So yeah, I'm rather than trying to make a perfect song, a perfect album, I want to just keep it coming out, keep it evolving, and just see what I come up with every few months.
There is no perfect. You'll drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, that's
right.
I mean, because perfect is in the mind of somebody else,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting what you think is, wow, this song is the song. When people hear this, they're going to just go crazy. And then no one likes that song. Everyone likes the song that you
they're
did
like, oh man, this one over here.
Yeah, it's so subjective. It's so subjective.
It's true. Like when I used to paint, which I haven't done for years, and have art shows, I would have my favorite painting. I'm like, oh man, I really don't want to, and it would be like, this one's not for sale because I'm still in this painting, And then everybody's liking it. Everything else, I'm like, well, what happened?
See, but your vibe is on it. You touched it with your vibe. Your energy said no. You can't touch it.
Yeah. That
must then be what 3 days later, I'm like, I really don't like that painting.
And then it sells.
You got to let them go. That's what I want to do. I want to make them, release them, let them go, move on, do more. And I'm trying to figure out, am I going to be a DJ? Am I going to go and do DJ gigs with this music? Am I going to incorporate some live instruments on stage with me? How am I going to perform this music? Am I going to perform this music? I'd like to get like a 90-minute DJ set together, I think, and try to do it that way. Maybe have backup singers on stage. Maybe have percussion on stage. I don't know. Try to make some kind of show out of it.
Go-go
dancers
dancers.
always are.
Go-go
They're
dancers.
dancers. You
Go-go
can't go wrong.
dancers.
You
No.
can't go wrong with go-go dancers. Yeah.
We're going back to Hollywood a go-go.
No, but there's some, because of the funk and stuff, I think that because even with Be Kind, with your album Be Kind, it's really fascinating to me because there's all eras of music. And when you said about Depeche Mode, I'm like, it just took me right back to my crazy late teens and swinging off the stage doing some crazy stuff. I don't know, but I just, here it is. Like, you go back and it's like you've managed to incorporate different eras and different genres into something that just has a really good groove that, any age can just dig into. It's heady.
Yeah.
That's the word. It's heady. The headiness of Bourgault. That's it.
Heady.
I like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good.
So if somebody were to give you like an outline of a song, just like
a concept.
Like an outline of a song. I can't find the right words for this, but and say, like going back to the song we just heard, and my mind is still on like the vocals are water lilies, and
she's not going to pull out.
I'm still in it. If somebody were like to give you a concept, I guess, of write something, whether it's a song or a whole album, based on like a place in nature somewhere, and here's your stars, your people who are playing in the play.
Yeah.
And then write according to.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's like a sort of a virtual opera.
Do you want to give me a concept?
Oh, you don't want to ask me?
No, I do.
I will give you a concept.
Okay, go.
Okay.
Write one up and email it.
No, okay. I'll email it.
Yeah, write one up
she's
for
like,
real, and I'll do it.
Okay. Oh, that's a challenge. Let's
this is it. I think what we're going to have to do is something new on our show with these challenges. We have our friends, the Tall Men Group.
Mm-hmm.
They are 6 tall men out of Southern California, and they meet once a month, and then they have a new songwriting challenge. And each month they write a new song, and then once a year they put out an album. And the last time they were on the show, or the time before that, we challenged them to write a song about walking, because we're all into people taking walks and 1-hour walks and hiking and stuff. And they did. They actually turned around within, 2-3 months, and they had 6 songs, came on a show. I don't even know if they're releasing it as an album or not, but we had a good time with it. And then they challenged us, and now we have a whole new writing series that we have to do.
I have
about being a mother-daughter relationship on the road.
Yeah, I know. Okay, I have it.
That's
a day
great.
in your life. A day in your life.
Ooh.
So when you wake up, you write music according to what you do during the day.
That's what you want me to do? That's your challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. It might be a pretty uneventful song.
Yeah, but that's your challenge.
Got up, drank coffee, went back to bed. Okay.
That sounds like the Beatles.
But see, now you're going to
day in the life.
Now you're going to search for the interesting things that happens, in between. Like,
dogs.
Like you looked out the window and the trash can started talking or something.
Oh, great.
I don't know what my brain is today.
Brian, what did you do to my mother's brain? She's off on another planet.
What'd you put in that
I think
wine?
she took a sip of Space Force or something.
Somebody slipped her a roofie.
I know, really. God, Nancy on a roofie.
Yeah, I'm a 60s kid.
You never want to see Nancy on a pain pill, man. Well, everybody should see Nancy on a pain pill. That's the next video we should make, is Nancy on a pain pill.
That's what I'm going to write a song, Nancy on a pain pill.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that concept, too. Nancy on a pain pill. She's a happy Nancy. So what I did want to talk about, too, I know we touched on this on the last conversation, is, you were playing guitar and then treated, or I should say untreatable, neurological disease. I can say neurological, even though I'm on my how many sips of wine now. but going through that change, this is such an example of moving forward and finding a way that I think I just want people to know that. I mean, to go through that, like suddenly not playing guitar, now having to learn a whole new thing, but not saying, okay, I'm not going to do anything, and taking that step forward. That's going to be a challenge every morning when you have your cup of coffee.
It's a challenge to have a cup of coffee, yeah. I was diagnosed in 2005 with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, which is a demyelinating nerve disease. So my nerves are demyelinating, and consequently the muscles that those nerves control are atrophying because I can't move them anymore. So it started in my hands, and it's moved up my arms into my shoulders, and now it's impacting my legs too. So I'm having a hard time walking now.
Oh, wow.
So I lost the ability to play guitar, which was my instrument, and I did walk away from music for like 10 years. I mean, I didn't do anything with music until the beginning of last year, 2017. I have all this free time now because I went on disability. I'm not able to work. So I have all this time, and I was like, man, I need to figure out how to play music again, how to make music again. So that's when I figured out how to do it on the computer and wrote and recorded Be Kind. And so that's the deal. I mean, it's challenging because it's a progressive disease. So it just keeps getting worse and more difficult. So even just sitting in front of the computer, operating the mouse, I mean, I have to use both hands to move the mouse around. Typing anything is nearly impossible. So even doing it that way is just challenging. And then there's the whole playing live. I mean, I did a release show for the album. I did another show a few weeks ago, a live performance, and that's hard. I mean, for me to get on stage and try to dance around and sing for an hour it's fun. It's challenging. So that puts these other parameters on the whole thing. You know, is this going to be just a recording project? Am I going to play live? It also kind of directs the program. I do what I can, and that's it. But I just try to keep doing something.
Yeah, And do you think a lot of people know about this? I can't even pronounce what it is.
I don't. Yeah. No, I know that a lot of people mean it, and it has a funny name. So when I say it, people are like, "Huh?" It's Charcot Marie-Tooth. Those are the names of the three doctors that identified it. French doctors. It actually, September is CMT. We call it. That's the acronym. It's CMT Awareness Month. September is so. It's a good month to check it out and go to the website cmtusa.org.
Good.
Is that right? CMT. It's CMTA USA. Charcot-Marie-Tooth Association USA. CMTAUSA.org, and you can learn all about it.
Wow.
It's the most common. Go ahead.
No, carry on.
I was just going to say it's the most common hereditary neuropathy. So there's a mutation on my DNA to where my body does not produce myelin. It doesn't repair myelin. And myelin is the insulation on your nerves. So if you have MS, your immune system attacks myelin. So you have an autoimmune disease, your body attacks the myelin. And MS affects your central nervous system, so your spine, your spinal cord, and your brain. And when my myelin on my peripheral nerves, so my arms and legs, is affected by the disease. So it's a little different than MS, but it's very similar to MS.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, I was thinking about on the MS side because you just look at the neurological side, and the autoimmune thing is very interesting because we look at why is this happening? Why are so many people getting autoimmune disease? You know, and that's a whole other topic in why we need to not have big agriculture and anyway, that I won't get into that because that's a whole show.
We would like to have a non-polluted environment.
Yeah, the pollution, and so that's the thing. I mean, that and looking at you getting up, doing the things that you have to do normally in life. I mean, I remember when I broke my arm, they had to put a metal rod in my arm, and so I didn't have a normal cast, and I couldn't really move my arm because my whole left arm twisted in a swimming pool accident. It's a whole other story. We won't go there, but it was a fun night.
Yeah,
anyway,
fun night ended in disaster.
I couldn't move really, and when you go through something like that, you start to realize just how much we rely on every part of our body, and it was it drove me nuts for a while, and then I realized I can't take pain pills. I'm not. Nancy gets happy. I get weird.
She cries.
Yeah, I cry or I giggle. It's like, don't watch SNL. Well,
we're like those theater masks. One's happy, the other one's not.
No. But it dawned on me then, like, really made me realize just how much so many people go through on a daily basis of maybe not having a limb or, going with what you're going through. It's like every little thing means something. And so for those of us who aren't going through this, we should cherish everything. You know what I mean? Every breath.
God, everybody should. I mean, everybody has their own perspective on struggle. I mean, I try to be careful complaining about how hard my life is, because I know my life is not nearly as hard as some other person's life, but it's it's challenging. I mean, the progressive nature of it is really challenging, because as soon as you acclimate, it gets worse, and you got to start over again. It's the constant deterioration that makes it challenging to keep up with it.
So there, I like the challenge, a day in the life.
Yeah, I think a day in the life.
Because you guys, it's going to be boring. It's not boring.
It's the life of Brian.
Right. Boring to me, but not boring to you. Yeah, boring
that's
to me.
That's the thing. Well, I think that it's just so cool that you're moving forward on things and doing, and creativity. This, to me, proves creativity is key to life. Creativity. It's just one of those. It should be one of those things, we need food, shelter, water, air. Creativity should be like the other thing in there.
You need food, shelter, water, and air to exist.
Yeah.
You need creativity.
To thrive.
Yeah,
creativity is key. And we complain about technology and everything. Well, technology is making it possible that we can even, have this conversation. Technology is making it possible for you to create. So there's that balance in life, right? It's so interesting how that happens.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's cool. Well, I'm really glad that you're doing this and doing every quarter. So every quarter, we're going to nag you.
Yeah.
We're going to be like, get that challenge going. But you got to keep us posted on all of this. This is so cool. I know we're going to play another song, which is my favorite on the EP. And this is definitely, if you go on the road with this, I know you got to know where the cops are.
Uh-oh.
You do. You need to know the road that you're going to take this on, because you will get pulled over. This is that kind of music. I feel like you're in a sports car. That's why I want to see this in video games.
I just have to say, Lisa drives according to the music she's playing, and for a passenger, you better buckle up. That's all I'm going to say.
The last ticket I got was for playing loud music and forgetting that I was in a construction zone. And I was thinking about this too. Like, there's so much construction going on, and you have to go in all these little lanes and move in the cones and everything, and especially if it's dark, and you feel like you're in an airplane. But if you listen to this music and you drive through one of those construction zones where you have to weave between cones and stuff, like, you could get into some serious trouble. You could suddenly turn into like, I'm doing the stunt. Who cares about Tom Cruise jumping off planes? Watch me and listen while I'm listening to Bourgault. It's a driving challenge, but I'm not doing that. I'm not going to get in trouble. But what is Denver like, music-wise, in regards to live music? Do you think it's up and coming good?
There's all kinds of, there's a ton of stuff going on in Denver. I'm I'm not, unfortunately, very in the middle of any of it because I just don't go out much. You know, it's kind of like a music scene. You got to be out there hanging out, seeing everybody, going to see bands, and unfortunately, I'm not really up for that. But there's a ton going on. I mean, there's a lot of venues. There's a lot of great local bands. There's a lot of great local electronic, DJs, electronic music producers. There's tons of touring bands coming through town. I mean, we have Red Rocks here. You know, we have a Fillmore. We have a lot of small size theaters. So it's a super vibrant music scene here.
Nice.
It's really good. So I wish I was able to be more involved in it. But it's good nevertheless. Yeah.
Well, the internet is cool for music, getting it out there for sure.
It is. I can do it from
videos
here.
too. Yeah, exactly. Who was the last? What should I say? What was the last amazing performance that you saw live?
The last amazing live performance I saw. Oh my God, I've gone to a couple of local friends bands. I've been to the last, I would say, like, great amazing show I saw Wilco at Red Rocks, and it's been a couple of years since that show, and that was the last show where I was like, wow, that was a great show. I saw Neil Young up there a couple summers ago as well.
That would have been.
I've seen it.
Was he playing with Promise of the Real? Was he playing with Lucas?
No, this was like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. It was when he came out and did that whole no GMO kind of stage show. People came out and like gassed the stage, and like he had a very theatrical thing going on there. Is that what you're talking about?
That was cool. I remember that.
Yeah.
He needs to do it again.
That was killer. Yeah. Wow. What else? Yeah, and I haven't seen much. I don't go out very often to shows.
Yeah.
There's some killer. There's a lot of killer. I've been to some cool reggae shows. And in town at a venue called Cervantes. They book a lot of reggae and hip hop. I've seen some cool hip hop shows there. Hieroglyphics, one of my favorite hip hop bands. So I don't know. I've seen a lot of shows. It's been a minute. I mean, I've seen no shows this summer. I haven't gone to any shows, which is kind of sad.
We're terrible. I mean, here we cover music and we never get out because we're here. We're here doing that, and then it's like all of a sudden we go out, and we're like, people are talking to us. And we're like, what? You're not on the phone.
I guess it's like, you talk to a chef and they eat at Taco Bell. You talk to a musician, and I don't go see any shows. I just don't get out to shows. I don't know. I wish I did, but I don't.
Yeah, I know. Live music, there's nothing like that energy in the room, But if you can deliver that vibe, what you do, your music delivers that. You just feel like you're in it, and it's so just like, it has that energy. I love it. I love anything that can transport you from where you are without you having to think about it, and then it puts you in that land, and then you can be like Nancy and, have trippy visuals. She does. She does. The drummer that we used to play with years ago, Willie, he would,
Willie Kellogg.
This is when we were in the mountains in San Diego and Julian, and
nice.
he'd play. So we were a mile high happy, and he would go, Nancy she doesn't need anything. She's the butterfly.
Yeah,
she says she sees butterflies, man. She doesn't need anything. Willie, like I thought he was gonna be like a Lemurian and trip off a rock, just kind of like levitate. Like he was always like, we're gonna levitate, man. He was so cool. It's like everything. We're gonna levitate, and he's like, Nancy doesn't need anything to levitate. She's just got that mind. But it's that music, man. It's music that transports you and takes you there. And I think what's great is it does make you want to dance, and it's very freeing. And I think that is needed now with everything that's going on in the world. People need that break. They need their brain to just chill. And it's kind of neat to not have so much vocals, as much as I love vocals, and I'm glad you're going to do more of that. But I think sometimes there's this, your brain just needs to, like, be able to go on its own trip, and like, it's almost meditational, where you can just go into a zone. So I think it's good. It's good stuff for now. Okay.
Cool.
So middle of it, we're going to play that. We're going to close with middle of it. This is cool. Tell us about this song. Yeah, middle of it.
Yeah, so this,
and it is.
Yeah, this actually is a song that I had written a couple months ago, and it was more of like a punk rock. I mean, this song has lyrics to it. I'm in the middle of it, it's true. I'm in the middle of it, just like you. I don't know what to do, inside out, black and blue. Like, it had verses, it had lyrics. But then when I kind of took it away from the punk rock vibe and made it kind of more dancey, the lyrics didn't quite fit. I didn't know how to put them in there, so I just got rid of them. but I kept
delete.
There you go. You got that button.
Nancy's got the big red delete button.
I do.
Yeah.
Good
so
thing
that's
you don't
this
know
song.
North
I just
Korea.
kind of took it. It was written. It was created one way, and it still is that song. Maybe someday I'll play that song in a band. I don't know, but I wanted to.
Cool.
I wanted to use it this way. So I took the build in this, the like bridge, the build up part was part of the original song. A little differently, a little different vibe. The drums different. So it ended up being similar enough to the way I had it originally written that I kept the name and kind of kept it. So that's it. It's just a slight tweak. Cool.
Yeah,
I like it too.
I
It's got some good sounds. It's got some good sounds, and it's got a good build. I like the build part.
Got to have a build, man. Got to have the
build.
build.
Have a build.
Dynamic.
Tension.
Everybody,
and release. Tension and release.
That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You got it, because that's life, right? Nothing stays the same.
Nope.
Ever.
No.
Everyone, Be Kind is out now, the full album. Go to borgo-band.com, of course, all digital outlets. But the new EP, Demolition, you can get it now on iTunes as a pre-sale. So go there and look up Bourgault Band. But it will be out fully on August 31st. And everyone, that's my birthday, so you need to buy the album. Buy both.
In honor of Lisa's birthday, buy my EP.
Yeah, that's it. No, but anyway, just kidding. But all my friends out there, that's what you need to do. But really, go get it August 31st out in all digital outlets. And again, go to borgo-band.com. He's also on Facebook and Instagram. Are you on Twitter? I can't remember Twitter or not.
No, that's something I've never delved into Twitter. That's all I need is one more social media account.
I know, right?
I don't know if I can handle it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's some interesting people on Twitter. I'm just saying. But anyway, I won't go further.
I need to check it out. I've never read one single tweet in my life. I don't even
really
that's foreign to me. I've never read a tweet unless it's something that somebody cut and pasted and put on Instagram.
Okay.
I don't. So yeah, I need to check it out. I guess that's my goal for today is get on Twitter, check Twitter out.
Welcome to Big Blend Radio. You get 2 challenges every time you come on. Just add that to the list of things. I do want to give a shout out and thank you to our sponsor, the awesome National Parks Arts Foundation. Good friends of ours. Every first Friday we do a radio show where we interview one of the artists in residence, whether they're there in a national park spending a month creating, just saying, Brian.
You might want to look at
that. That sounds great.
Go to a national park and create. That would be cool. Yeah. So everybody, whether you're a musician, a filmmaker, an artist, a writer, painter, poet, dancer, go to nationalparksartsfoundation.org. They have these amazing programs. You spend a month really in a national park unit like Chaco up in northern New Mexico, dried tortugas on an island in the Keys, Hawaii volcanoes, right outside there. So a lot of cool stuff happening with them. But also want to thank everyone for joining us here on Big Blend Radio. Our shows air Sunday through Friday. The full schedule is at bigblendradio.com. You can listen to shows as they go live or anytime on demand. All the links are there. And we're also on Spotify now. Check it out.
Woohoo.
Yeah, we need to get those links up there. So bigblendradio.com, we'll get that up there for you. And here it is. We're going to play Middle of It, again, from the EP Demolition by Bourgault. Thanks so much for joining us, Brian.
Thank you.
Here it is, everyone.
Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Middle of It.